Hello, my dear friend. Welcome to our special podcast. My name is Anna, and I am so happy to be with you today. If you are listening for the first time, a very warm welcome to you. We are so happy you are here with us. And if you are a returning listener, thank you for coming back. It feels like meeting an old friend again. Today, we are going to talk about something very interesting. It is an idea that can change your life. The idea is about money. It is about how we think about money. The topic for today is, to get rich, you must learn to think poor. This might sound strange. You might be thinking, Anna, what does that mean? Why should I think poor if I want to be rich? That is a great question. And we are going to explore it together today. We will learn why looking poor is important for building real wealth. This is a very gentle and happy space. We are here to learn together. We are here to grow together. So please find a comfortable place. Maybe you are sitting on a soft chair. Maybe you are walking in a beautiful park. Wherever you are, I want you to feel calm and relaxed. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your time with me. I am truly grateful you are here. Before we begin, I want to invite you to do something small. If you enjoy our time together, please think about following or subscribing to our channel. It is a simple click, but it helps us a lot. It helps our small family grow. It helps us reach more English learners just like you. And if you feel this episode is helpful, you can give it a like. It is the fastest and easiest way to show your support. Thank you, my friend. I'm also very curious about you. Where are you listening from today? Are you in a big city or a quiet town? Are you in Europe, Asia, Africa, the Americas? It makes me so happy to think of all of us connected from around the world. We are one big, warm family. Okay, are you ready? Let's begin our journey together. Let's talk about why thinking poor can help you become truly rich. Imagine something with me for a moment. You're walking down a street. You see a person. This person is driving a car. The car is not new. It is an old Toyota. Maybe it is 10 years old. Later, you see this same person shopping. They're in a big store where things are not expensive. A discount store. What is your first thought? What idea comes into your mind? Maybe you think this person does not have much money. Maybe you think they are struggling. You might think they have to be very careful with every dollar. This is what many of us think. Now imagine another person. This person is driving a brand new car. It is a luxury car, very shiny and expensive. This person is wearing a beautiful, expensive watch. Their clothes have famous brand names on them. What do you think about this person? You probably think they are very rich. You probably think they have a lot of money and no worries. But what if I told you a secret? What if the first person, the one with the old Toyota, is actually richer? Not just a little richer, much, much richer. And what if the second person, the one who looks so rich, has many money problems? This is a surprising idea. It is a paradox. A paradox is an idea that seems strange, but it is true. Our world today, with all its advertisements and social media, does not want you to know this secret. But it is a secret that truly wealthy people have learned. They have learned it very well. To get rich, you must first learn to think poor. This is our big idea for today. Some people are very busy looking rich. They spend a lot of time and money to show everyone they have money. But other people are quietly getting rich. No one sees them. They are almost invisible. These quiet people understand something very important. They know that being wealthy is not about what you show to others. It is about what you own. It is not about the expensive car you drive. It is about the things you have that can make more money for you. These things are called assets. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain. We are going to show you this powerful secret. We will talk about billionaires who live very simple lives. Their lives might shock you. They are so simple. And we will show you how you can use this think poor idea in your own life. This idea is the most important key. It is the key to building your own money that will last a long, long time. This is not about being cheap. Being cheap means you always buy the lowest price thing, even if it is bad quality. This is about being smart. It is about making wise choices. It is about playing a different game, not the looking rich game, a new game, the game that leads to real financial freedom, the game that leads to a life with less stress and more peace. Are you ready to learn the rules of this new game? Let's start. Section 1. The Great Deception. Why looking rich keeps you poor. Let's begin with the truth. This truth is something that is often hidden from us. People hide it on purpose. Society, the world around us, has sold us a story. But this story is not true. It is a lie. It is a very beautiful lie. It is packaged in a shiny box, and it is a very, very expensive lie. What is this lie? The lie is that wealth looks a certain way. The lie says that if you are rich, you must show it. What does this look like? It looks like a shiny new car, maybe a car from Germany. It looks like a very, very big house, a mansion. It looks like a closet full of expensive clothes with famous names on them. These famous names are called logos. It also looks like a social media page full of pictures from amazing vacations, traveling to faraway, exotic places. This is the picture of success we see everywhere. We see it on TV, we see it in movies, and we see it every time we look at our phones. This creates pressure. It is the pressure to keep up with the Joneses. This is an old saying. It means you feel you must have the same nice things as your neighbors or friends. It is like a race. But this race has no finish line. You can never win. You just keep running and running. And what is the prize for this race? The prize is not happiness. The prize is often more debt, more money that you owe, and a lot of worry and stress. This is not a good prize at all. The big problem with this picture of wealth is that it is not real. It is a mirage. A mirage is something you see, maybe in a hot desert. You think you see water, but when you get closer, there is nothing there. It was just an illusion. The picture of wealth is often an illusion too. Very often, the person who looks the richest is actually the one with the biggest money problems. Their financial life is very fragile. Like a thin piece of glass, it can break very easily. We can call these people loud broke. Loud because their clothes and their car are screaming, "Look at me, I have money." Broke because their bank account is empty. It is whispering, "Help me." Studies show this is true. Research tells us that the people who spend the most money on luxury things are often not the super rich. They are people who are trying to show that they have a high status. They want to feel important. They use expensive things to get validation. Validation means they want other people to say, "Wow, you are successful. You are important." But this validation is very expensive. It comes at a very high cost. The cost is your future. The cost is your peace of mind. This is a good time to learn a very important idea. It is the difference between two types of things you can own: appreciating assets and depreciating assets. This is a simple idea, but it is very, very powerful. Let's learn it together. First, let's talk about appreciating assets. Appreciate means to go up, to increase in value. So, appreciating assets are things that can be worth more money in the future. Think of it like planting a seed. You plant a small seed today. You water it. You take care of it. Over time, it grows into a big, strong tree. This tree gives you fruit every year. Appreciating assets are like money trees. When you buy an appreciating asset, you are planting a money tree. This tree can grow bigger, and it can give you more money in the future. What are some examples? Things like stocks, which are small pieces of a company. If the company does well, your small piece becomes more valuable. Or real estate, like a house or an apartment that you rent to others. Over time, the value of the building can go up. Or maybe you own a part of a business. These are the building blocks of real wealth. This is how people get rich quietly. They are busy planting money trees. Now, let's talk about the other kind: depreciating assets. Depreciate means to go down, to decrease in value. So, depreciating assets are things that lose value over time. They are worth less money in the future. In fact, many of these things lose value the moment you buy them. What is the most famous example of a depreciating asset? A brand new car. A new car is beautiful. It smells nice. It feels good to drive. But the moment you drive that new car home, its value goes down. It goes down very, very fast. Imagine you buy a new luxury car for $100,000. That is a lot of money. In just a few years, maybe 3 or 4 years, that car might be worth only $50,000. It has lost half of its value. So, that car is not a real asset. It is not a money tree. It is an expense. It is a cost that is dressed up to look like a status symbol. It makes you look rich, but it is actually making you poorer. The same is true for most electronics. Your new phone is amazing today, but next year, a new model will come out, and your phone will be worth much less. The same is true for most designer clothes and for trendy furniture. They give you a happy feeling for a short time, a quick hit of gratification, but they are financial black holes. A black hole in space pulls everything into it. Nothing can escape. These things are like that with your money. They are always sucking money out of your future. People who are trapped in the looking rich game are buying these things. They are almost only buying depreciating assets. They use their money they worked hard for, to buy things that will be worth less tomorrow. Sometimes they even use money they don't have. They borrow money to buy these things. This is called debt. They care so much about what other people think. They put appearances first. They put their image above their own financial safety. This creates a difficult life. It is like being on a treadmill. You have to run and run and run just to stay in the same place. You have to work harder and harder just to pay for a lifestyle that looks good. But this lifestyle is not building any real lasting wealth. It is not building a safe future for you. This is a game that is made for you to lose. The more you play the looking rich game, the poorer you become in real terms. This is true even if you get a raise at your job, even if your income goes up. There is a name for this problem. It is called lifestyle inflation. Inflation means getting bigger. Lifestyle inflation means that when you earn more money, you spend more money. You earn more, so you buy a bigger house. You get a promotion, so you buy a fancier car. Your lifestyle inflates. It gets bigger and more expensive. This is a silent killer. It quietly kills your chance to build a fortune. It eats all of your extra money, so you never get ahead. You are still living from one paycheck to the next. The truly wealthy people understand this game, and they say, "No, thank you, I will not play." They know a secret. Every dollar I spend on a new car to impress my neighbor is a dollar I cannot invest. It is a dollar that cannot go into my money tree. It is a dollar that cannot work for me to make more money. They think differently. They operate on a different frequency. They are not interested in the short-term thrill of buying a luxury thing. That feeling goes away very quickly. They are focused on the long-term prize. And what is that prize? Financial freedom. They have looked behind the curtain of consumerism. Consumerism is the idea that buying things will make you happy. They see that it is just a magic trick, a trick designed to take your money from you. So the very first step to getting rich is to open your eyes. See the illusion and stop falling for the trick. It is about choosing a different path, the quiet path, the smart path, the path that leads to real wealth. Section 2, the billionaire's mindset. Money as a tool, not a trophy. If you want to build your own fortune, it is helpful to learn from people who have already done it. We need to get inside their heads. We need to understand how they think about money, their core philosophy. Because it is very, very different from how most people think. For most people, money is for one thing, spending. You get money, you spend money, it feels good. But for wealthy people, money is different. Money is not a trophy. A trophy is something you win and put on a shelf to show everyone. Look what I did. Look what I have. For the wealthy, money is not a trophy to show off. Money is a tool to be used. Think about a carpenter. A carpenter has tools like a hammer and a saw. Does the carpenter hang the hammer on the wall to show everyone? No. The carpenter uses the hammer to build a house. Wealthy people see money like a tool. They see it as an employee, a worker. They put this employee to work. And the job of this employee is to make more employees, to generate more money. This is the single most powerful mindset shift you can make. This one idea can change everything for you. When a wealthy person gets $1, they do not think, "What can I buy with this dollar?" That is the first question most people ask. A wealthy person thinks, "How can I grow this dollar? How can I turn this $1 into $2? How can I put this dollar to work?" They prioritize growing their wealth over showing off their wealth. They care more about having money trees than having fancy things. This is why we hear so many stories about frugal billionaires. Frugal means they are careful with their money. They do not waste it. These stories can seem strange to us. They are counterintuitive. It means they are the opposite of what we expect. We expect billionaires to spend, but many of them don't. Let's talk about the most famous example, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is one of the richest people in the entire world. He is a very famous investor. He could buy anything he wants, any house, any car, any boat, any plane, He could have 100 houses if he wanted to, but he does not. He still lives in the same house in Omaha, Nebraska. It is a modest, normal house. He bought this house in the year 1958. He paid $31,500 for it. He has lived there for more than 60 years. He could buy a castle, but he chooses to live in his simple, comfortable home. Here is another story about him. For many years, everyone had a smartphone, but Warren Buffett famously used an old flip phone. It was a very simple phone that only cost $20. He used it for years and years. And for breakfast, he does not have a private chef make him a fancy meal. He often gets his breakfast from McDonald's. Sometimes his breakfast costs less than $4. Why does he do this? Is it because he is cheap? No, it is not about being cheap. It is because he understands a very deep truth. He knows that every dollar he spends on a fancy meal he doesn't need, or a new phone he doesn't need, or a giant house he doesn't need, is a dollar that is not working for him. It is a dollar that is not invested. It is a dollar that is not compounding. Compounding is a magical idea. It means your money makes money, and then that money makes more money. It is like a snowball. You start with a small snowball at the top of a hill. As it rolls down, it picks up more snow. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. By the time it reaches the bottom of the hill, it is a giant snowball. Compounding does that with your money. Warren Buffett wants every single dollar to be part of that snowball. And he is not the only one. There are many other examples. Let's think about Mark Zuckerberg. He started Facebook, which is now called Meta. He is also one of the richest people in the world. He is famous for wearing the same thing every day, a simple gray t-shirt and jeans. Why? He has explained why. He said that it saves his energy. He does not want to wake up in the morning and waste time or mental energy thinking about what to wear. He wants to save all his energy for making important decisions for his company. It is a smart choice. He also drives a relatively modest car. For a long time, he drove a Volkswagen. Another example is Carlos Slim. He is a businessman from Mexico and is also one of the world's richest men. He also lives a simple life. He has lived in the same house for over 40 years. He reportedly buys his clothes from regular stores, not expensive designer shops. He drives himself in an older car. What do these stories tell us? They are not just interesting facts. They show us a deep belief, a philosophy. They believe that the main purpose of money is to create more wealth. The main job of money is to grow. This leads us to a very important rule for building wealth. It is a cardinal rule. That means it is one of the most important rules. The rule is a famous quote often credited to Warren Buffett. It goes like this: "Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving." Let's read that again, slowly. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. This is a very powerful idea. Let's break it down. How do most people handle their money? They get their paycheck. First, they pay their bills, like rent and electricity. Then, they spend money on fun things. They go out to eat, they go to the movies, they buy new clothes. And then, at the end of the month, if there's any money left, they save it. Often, there's very little left, or nothing at all. The wealthy do the exact opposite. They flip the script, they change the order. The moment they get paid, the very first bill they pay is to themselves. They pay their future self first. What does this mean? It means a part of their income, maybe 10% or 20% or more, immediately goes away. It is sent directly to their savings accounts. It is sent to their investment accounts. This is not optional. It is a non-negotiable expense. It is the most important bill they have to pay. And then they live on what is left. They use the rest of the money for their bills and for their fun. This simple habit changes everything. It guarantees that you are building wealth. It happens automatically. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to rely on willpower at the end of the month. This habit also changes your focus. It shifts your focus away from short-term pleasure, away from that quick, happy feeling of buying something new, and it puts your focus on long-term growth, on the magic of compounding, on building your snowball. This has a huge psychological benefit too. Psychological means it affects your mind and your feelings. When you know that you have already taken care of your future, when you know your savings and investments are growing automatically, you feel a deep sense of security. You feel a sense of peace. This feeling is something that no luxury car or expensive watch can ever give you. You are no longer a slave to your next paycheck. You are not worried and stressed, waiting for money to come in. You are the architect of your own life. An architect is someone who designs buildings. You are designing your own beautiful financial future. You are in control. This mindset helps us redefine what rich really means. Let's think about two people. Person A has a high-paying job. They make a lot of money. They drive a fancy car. They live in a big house. They have a lot of debt. They owe a lot of money for the car and the house. They are always stressed about making all the payments. They look rich, but are they really rich? Now, let's think about person B. Person B has a normal, modest income. They drive a reliable used car. They have no debt. They have a savings account that is growing. They have an investment portfolio that is growing every month automatically. They sleep very well at night. They are not stressed about money. They don't look rich. But are they? The billionaire mindset tells us that person B is the truly wealthy one. Because true wealth is not about the size of your car. It is not about the size of your house. True wealth is about the size of your peace of mind. It is about having choices. It is about having options. It is about being free. And that is what we are all working towards. Section 3, the think poor. Spending habits of the secretly wealthy. So we understand the mindset, we understand the philosophy, but how do we do this in our real everyday lives? Adopting the think poor mindset is about action. It is about turning that idea into real habits. Habits that you do every single day. The secretly wealthy people have mastered this. These are the millionaires next door. They might be your neighbor, your teacher, or the person who owns the local coffee shop. You would never guess they are millionaires. They look normal, but they have these special habits. Let's look at the 3 biggest areas where they use this think poor principle. These are the 3 biggest expenses for most people. They are housing, transportation, and daily spending. First, let's talk about housing. Your house or apartment is usually the biggest expense you have. The world tells us a story about houses. The story says, when you earn more money, you should buy a bigger house. It feels like a reward. I got a promotion, so I deserve a bigger house. But the secretly wealthy know that this is a trap. It is a very dangerous trap. Why is it a trap? Because a bigger house is not just a bigger mortgage payment. A mortgage is the money you borrow from a bank to buy a house. A bigger house is like a monster with many heads. A hydra. You cut off one head, and two more grow back. A bigger house means so many other new expenses. You have to pay higher property taxes. You have to pay higher utility bills. The electricity and water bills will be bigger. There is more space to heat in the winter and cool in the summer. There is also more maintenance. More things can break. The roof is bigger. There are more windows to clean, and there is more empty space. What do we do with empty space? We feel we need to fill it with things. With more furniture, with more stuff. So a big house becomes a machine that constantly eats your money. It is a relentless drain on your resources. It stops you from building your wealth. This is why Warren Buffett's choice to stay in his Omaha home is so important. It is such a powerful lesson. He sees his home as a place for his family to be comfortable and happy. He does not see it as a symbol to show off his status. There was a big study that looked at over 10,000 millionaires. It found that most of them said their homes were modest. Modest means not big or fancy, just normal. And they usually do not live in the most expensive neighborhoods. What does this teach us? It teaches us to buy a home that fits our needs, not our ego. Your ego is the part of you that wants to impress other people. Buy a home for your family, not for your neighbors. And these millionaires often stay in their homes for a long time. They don't move every few years to a bigger and bigger house. This is very smart. It allows them to build equity. Equity is the part of the house that you truly own. And more importantly, it allows them to save a lot of money. And what do they do with that saved money? They channel it, they direct it, they put it into their money trees, into assets that actually make more money for them. Okay, let's move to the second big area, transportation, your car. Nothing screams, I am trying to look rich louder than a brand new luxury car. And nothing destroys your wealth faster. As we said before, cars are the perfect example of a depreciating asset. They lose value so quickly. A luxury car can lose 50 to 60% of its value in just 5 years. That is like taking half of the money you paid and throwing it in the garbage. And that is not all. The costs of owning a luxury car are very, very high. The insurance is more expensive. The repairs are more expensive. The regular maintenance, like oil changes, is more expensive. It is another money-eating machine. The truly wealthy know this. They know that a car is just a tool. It is a tool to get you from point A to point B. That is its job. It is not a reflection of your self-worth. The car you drive does not decide if you are a good person or a successful person. This is why we see some surprising data. Data from studies consistently shows us something interesting. For families that earn more than $250,000 a year, what are the most popular car brands? You might think Mercedes or BMW or Porsche. But you would be wrong. The most popular brands are Honda, Toyota, and Ford. Why? Because these cars are reliable. They work well for a long time. And they are affordable. They do not cost a fortune to buy or to maintain. Many self-made millionaires, people who earned their money themselves, often buy used cars. This is very, very smart. They let someone else pay for the biggest drop in value. That brutal hit of depreciation that happens in the first few years. They are happy to drive a car that is a few years old. They are making a trade. They are trading a fancy logo on the front of their car for financial freedom. Which one would you choose? A shiny symbol or a life with less stress and more choices? It seems like an easy decision when you think about it that way. Now let's talk about the third area, daily purchases. The small things you buy every day, your coffee, your lunch, your clothes. The think poor mindset is not about being a miser. A miser is someone who hates spending any money at all, even on things they need. They are not happy. This is not our goal. The goal is to be intentional. Intentional means you think before you act. You make conscious choices. It is about clearly knowing the difference between your needs and your wants. A need is something you must have to live, like food, water, and a safe place to sleep. A want is something that is nice to have, but you can live without it, like a fancy coffee, a new video game, or a designer handbag. The wealthy are often surprisingly frugal in their daily lives. They use coupons. They shop when there are sales. They are not embarrassed by this. They are proud of it. They see it as being smart. They are willing to pay for good quality. A high-quality pair of shoes that will last for 10 years is a smart purchase. But they are allergic to paying extra money just for a brand name. They hate paying a premium for a logo. This mindset about daily spending also includes debt, especially high-interest debt like from a credit card. This is one of the biggest and most important habits of millionaires. They avoid consumer debt like the plague. A huge study was done on millionaires. It found that 73% of them have never in their entire lives carried a credit card balance. This means they pay their credit card bill in full every single month. They never pay interest to the credit card company. Warren Buffett himself said something very wise about this. He said, "If I borrowed money at 18% or 20%, I'd be broke." And he is one of the richest men in the world. If he knows he would go broke paying that kind of interest, what does that tell us? Wealthy people see consumer debt for what it is. It is mortgaging your future. It means you are stealing from your future self to buy something today that you cannot really afford. It is a trap that keeps you poor. Now, this does not mean all debt is bad. Wealthy people sometimes use debt, but they use it strategically. They use it smartly. They use it to buy appreciating assets, things that can go up in value. For example, they might get a loan to buy a rental property. They hope that the money they earn from rent and the increase in the property's value will be more than the interest they pay on the loan. This is using debt as a tool, not as a trap. So let's summarize these habits by mastering these 3 big areas. Living in a modest house that meets their needs. Driving a practical, reliable car, and being intentional with daily spending and avoiding consumer debt. By doing these things, the secretly wealthy create a huge amount of extra money in their budget. This extra money is called a surplus. This surplus is their secret weapon. It is the raw material. It is the seed for their money trees. It is the snow for their snowball. This is the money that, when they invest it again and again consistently, builds a true and lasting fortune. It all starts with these simple, think poor spending habits. Section 4, the think poor. Investing strategy, boring is beautiful. So you have done the hard work. You have adopted the think poor spending habits. You have created a surplus. You have extra money at the end of every month. Congratulations. That is a huge achievement. Now we get to the most exciting part. What do you do with that money? You put that money to work. If smart spending is your defense, it protects your money from being wasted. Then investing is your offense. It is how you score points. It is how you grow your wealth. But it is not the kind of offense you see in movies. It is not flashy. It is not about taking huge risks to get rich overnight. For the truly wealthy, the best investing strategy is often very boring. Yes, boring. And in the world of investing, boring is beautiful. Boring is smart. Boring is powerful. The think poor mindset in investing is about one main thing. It is about rejecting the temptation of get-rich-quick schemes. A scheme is a tricky plan. Every day we hear stories. Buy this new hot stock. It's going to the moon. Invest in this new cryptocurrency. You'll be a millionaire in a month. These stories are very exciting. They are very alluring. They promise a fast and easy path to wealth. But the think poor investor knows that real wealth is not built that way. Real wealth is built slowly, patiently, and consistently. It is not built by gambling. The person who is trying to look rich is often chasing these hot new things. They are gambling. They are speculating. They are hoping to get lucky. But the person who is actually getting rich is usually on a much different path, a much simpler path, a much more boring path. Let's look at the key parts of this boring but beautiful strategy. The first cornerstone, the foundation of this approach, is long-term, value-driven investing. Let's look at our friend Warren Buffett again. His investing philosophy is famously simple. He says, "Our favorite holding period is forever." What does this mean? It means he is not trying to time the market. Timing the market means trying to guess when the stock market will go up or down. You try to buy low and sell high very quickly. Many people try to do this, almost no one succeeds. It is like trying to predict the weather a year from now. Warren Buffett does not do that. Instead, he does a lot of research. Very careful, meticulous research. He looks for wonderful companies that are strong, well-managed, and have a good future. And he tries to buy them when their price is a little bit low, when they are undervalued. And then, what does he do? He buys them. And he holds on. He holds on for years, for decades. He lets the magic of compound interest do its work. He lets the snowball roll and grow. This is a slow process. It is a methodical process. It requires patience, but over a long time, over many, many years, it creates an unstoppable force of wealth. It is the most proven way to get rich in the stock market. The second pillar of this strategy is consistency and automation. The wealthy know that our own emotions are the biggest enemy of a good investor. Our feelings can make us do stupid things with our money. When the stock market goes down, what emotion do we feel? Fear? We panic? We think, "Oh no, I'm losing all my money." And what does fear make us do? It makes us sell. And we sell at the worst possible time when prices are low. And when the stock market is going up and up, what emotion do we feel? Greed. We see other people making money and we get jealous. We feel like we are missing out. And what does greed make us do? It makes us buy. And we often buy at the worst possible time, when prices are high. So we buy high and sell low. This is the exact opposite of what we should be doing. So how do we fight our own emotions? How do we protect ourselves from fear and greed? The wealthy have a simple solution. They make investing automatic. They remove themselves from the decision. Remember what we talked about before? They pay themselves first. They set up an automatic transfer. Every time they get their paycheck, a certain amount of money is automatically moved. It goes from their bank account to their investment account. This money is then automatically invested. Often, it is invested in something simple like a low-cost index fund or an ETF. An index fund is a basket of many, many stocks. So you are not betting on just one company. You are betting on the whole market. This strategy has a name. It is called dollar cost averaging. It sounds complicated, but it is very simple. It just means you invest the same amount of money on a regular schedule, like every month. When you do this, sometimes you will buy when the market is high. Sometimes you will buy when the market is low. Over a long time, it averages out. It smooths out the bumps of the market. It is a very disciplined approach. And most importantly, it takes your emotions out of the game. You are investing on autopilot. The third part of the strategy is to focus on owning assets that produce cash flow. What is cash flow? It is money that flows into your pocket, like a river flowing into a lake. Billionaires almost never have just one source of income. Most people have one source of income, their job. They trade their time for a paycheck. But this is very fragile. It is not safe. What happens if you lose your job? Your only river of income dries up, and you are in big trouble. The wealthy build a financial fortress. A fortress is a strong castle that is hard to attack. They build their fortress by having many different income streams. They want money flowing in from many different directions, multiple rivers of cash. Where does this cash flow come from? It can come from dividend-paying stocks. Dividends are small payments that some companies give to their shareholders. It is like a little thank you for owning a piece of the company. It can come from rental properties. You own a house or an apartment, and someone pays you rent every month. That is a river of cash. Or it can come from owning a piece of a business that makes a profit. The goal is to have money coming in from many places. So if one river dries up, maybe you lose your job. The other rivers are still flowing. They keep you safe. They keep your fortress strong. Finally, the think poor investor is an opportunist. But in a good way. An opportunist is someone who sees an opportunity and takes it. Because they have been smart with their money, because they have avoided debt, because they have built up a surplus of cash, they are in a position of strength when other people are weak. Warren Buffett gave some famous advice about this. He said, "Be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy only when others are fearful." What does this mean? When the market is going up and everyone is excited and greedy, you should be careful, be fearful. But when the market is going down, when there is panic in the air, when people are scared and selling everything, that is when the think poor investor gets excited. They see a massive opportunity. They see a sale, yet it is like their favorite store is having a 50% off sale on everything. High quality companies, wonderful assets are now available at a huge discount. And because they have cash ready, they can go shopping. They can buy these great assets at fire sale prices. And this is how great fortunes are truly made. not in the good times, the booms, but by being prepared and ready to act during the bad times, the busts. So let's look at this whole investing strategy. Patient, long-term holding, consistent, automatic investing, building multiple streams of cash flow, and being ready to buy when everyone else is scared. This strategy is the opposite of sexy. It is not exciting. You will not get to brag to your friends about the hot new stock you bought, but it is beautiful in its own way. It is beautiful because it works. It is the quiet, simple, boring truth of how real, lasting wealth is built. Section 5. The ultimate goal. Buying freedom, not things. We have talked about so many things today. We have talked about habits. We have talked about mindset. We have talked about strategies for spending and investing. But now we need to talk about the most important thing. We need to talk about the why. Why do all of this? Why live in a modest house when you could afford a bigger one? Why drive a used Toyota when you could drive a new BMW? Why go through all this effort of being disciplined and patient? What is the end game? What is the ultimate goal? The answer is very simple, but it is also very profound. Profound means it is very deep and meaningful. The goal of thinking poor is not just to have a big pile of money. It is not about counting your gold coins like a dragon in a cave. The ultimate goal is to buy freedom. This is the final, most important piece of the puzzle. If you remember only one thing from our conversation today, I hope it is this. For people who are trapped in the looking rich game, money is for buying things. Money buys a car, money buys a watch, money buys a big TV. For people who practice stealth wealth or quiet wealth, money is for buying something completely different. Money buys time, money buys choice, and money buys peace of mind. And those three things, time, choice, and peace of mind, are the most valuable things in the world. They are the most valuable currency, more valuable than any dollar or euro or yen. Let's think about what financial freedom really means. Let's paint a picture of it. Financial freedom means you are not chained to a job you hate. So many people wake up every morning and feel sad because they have to go to a job that makes them unhappy. But they have to go. They have to go to pay the bills. They have to go to pay for the car and the house. Financial freedom means you can break that chain. Financial freedom means you have the power to walk away from a bad situation. Maybe you have a boss who is unkind, or a work environment that is toxic and stressful. If you are financially free, you can say, "No, thank you. This is not good for me. I am leaving." You can do that without fear because you are not dependent on that one paycheck. Financial freedom means you have the strength to handle life's surprises. Life is full of unexpected events. Maybe a medical emergency happens, someone in your family gets sick. If you are not financially prepared, an emergency like this can ruin you. It can lead to huge debt and stress. But if you have built your financial fortress, you can handle it. You have the resources to take care of your loved ones without falling into a deep financial hole. And most importantly, financial freedom means you own your time. Warren Buffett once said something very wise about this. He said, "The rich invest in time, the poor invest in money." He knows that time is the one thing you can never get more of. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Once a day is gone, it is gone forever. He has built his whole life around this idea. He has designed his life to have maximum control over his own time. He gets to wake up every morning and do what he loves. That is true wealth. Now think about the other game, the game of keeping up with the Joneses. That game does the exact opposite of giving you freedom. It enslaves you. It puts you in chains. Every time you take on a new car payment, that is another chain. Every time you upgrade to a bigger, more expensive house, that is another chain. Every time you buy a luxury item on credit, that is another link in the chain. These chains tie you to your desk. They tie you to that job you might not like. They create a life where you are always running, always working just to pay for choices you made in the past. You are working to pay for yesterday's consumption. In that life, you are not free. You are a servant. You are a servant to your own possessions. The things you own end up owning you. The think poor mindset is your declaration of independence. It is you saying, I will not be a servant to my stuff. I choose freedom. By living below your means, by spending less than you earn, you are making a choice. You are choosing freedom over stuff. You are choosing your future over your image. Every single dollar that you save and invest is a vote. It is a vote for your future self. It is a gift you are giving to the person you will be in 5, 10, or 20 years. As your investments grow, they start to work for you. They start to generate passive income. Passive income is money you earn without actively working for it. It is your money trees giving you fruit. It is your money employees working for you even while you sleep. At first, this passive income might be very small. Maybe it is just enough to pay for your phone bill. That is a great start. Then, as you keep investing, it grows. Maybe it becomes enough to pay for all your groceries for the month. Wow, imagine that feeling. You keep going. You stay patient. You stay consistent. And eventually, you can reach a magical moment, a tipping point. This point is known as financial independence. Financial independence is the moment when your passive income, the money your investments make for you, is enough to cover all of your living expenses. Your rent, your food, your transportation, everything. This is the ultimate end game. This is the top of the mountain. At this moment, something incredible happens. You are no longer required to trade your time for money. The chain is broken. You are free. You can still choose to work. Many financially independent people do, but they work because they want to, not because they have to. They work on projects they are passionate about. They work in jobs that give them meaning and purpose, or they spend their time volunteering, traveling, learning, or being with their families. The whole power dynamic of your life has changed. You are in control. You are the captain of your own ship. You are the master of your own destiny. This is a level of wealth that is so much deeper than looking rich. It is a level of security and peace that no flashy car can ever give you. It is a deep, quiet confidence, a feeling that cannot be shaken. It is the feeling that comes from knowing you have built a life of true freedom. And it all starts with a simple choice: to think poor. So let's bring everything back together. Let's remember our big idea for today. To get rich, you must think poor. I hope you now see that this is not about being cheap. It is not about feeling bad about yourself. It is the opposite. It is about a radical, powerful shift in your thinking. It is about understanding that true wealth is not what you show to the world. It is not about the car, the clothes, or the fancy vacations. True wealth is what you keep. It is what you build quietly, day by day. It is about realizing that the pressure from our culture to look rich is a trap. It is a game designed to keep you working forever, just to buy things that lose value. The world's truly wealthy people, the self-made millionaires, did not get there by accident. They did not win the lottery. They got there by being intentional, by making smart, conscious choices. They live below their means, not because they have to, but because they are smart. They understand that every dollar they do not spend on a temporary status symbol is a dollar they can invest. It is a dollar soldier they can send out to work for them. A dollar that can help them buy something far more valuable than any object. It buys them their freedom. They treat money as a tool, not as a trophy. They build their financial lives on a strong foundation. A foundation of simple, boring, but beautiful habits. What are these habits? Paying yourself first, always. Avoiding expensive consumer debt. And investing consistently for the long term. And here's the best part. This is the good news. You do not need to be a billionaire to start this journey. You do not need a high income to start. You can start right now, today, with what you have. You can start by just thinking. You can question your own spending habits. Before you buy something, you can ask yourself, is this a need or a want? Am I buying this for me or to impress someone else? Is this purchase helping me buy my freedom? You can choose to drive a more modest car and invest the difference. You can choose to live in a smaller, more affordable home and feel the peace that comes with it. You can set up an automatic transfer to your savings account, even if it is just a small amount. Every little bit helps. Every dollar is a soldier. You can choose to play the long game, the quiet game, the winning game. Building wealth this way is not flashy. It is not something you can post on social media to get a lot of likes. It is a quiet, personal revolution. It is a revolution against a world that wants you to spend everything you have. It is about choosing long-term peace of mind over short-term pleasure. It is about choosing real security over fake status. It is about choosing a life of freedom, a life of choice, and a life of purpose. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about these ideas? Which of these think poor habits did you connect with the most? Is there one habit that you are going to try to bring into your own life? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I am genuinely so curious to hear your stories. I want to hear how you are building your own special path to financial freedom. If this conversation gave you a new way to think about wealth, if it made you feel hopeful and empowered, please do me a small favor and tap that like button. And please subscribe so you don't miss our future conversations. We will have more deep dives into the smart strategies of the quietly wealthy. The more of us who say no to the look rich game, the more of us can win the real prize. And that prize is a life lived on our own terms, a life of freedom, choice, and true happiness. Thank you so much for being here with me today. It was a real joy to share this time with you. Remember to be kind to yourself. Learning is a journey, not a race. Keep going, one small step at a time. See you next time, my friend.